Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you all here for our Martin Luther King Oratory Competition. And I have to tell you, of all the things that we do here at our law firm, this is probably our most passionate and exciting project that we get to do. And it's because of all of you families and all these wonderful students, and thank you to all the judges that put so much time into making this happen. This is a year for us of milestones. Our firm at Foley Lardner is one of the oldest firms in the country. We've been around for 180 years. Here in Chicago, we've been here for 35 years, and we just celebrated that anniversary. And most importantly here, this is our 5th annual competition for the MLK, and we are so proud that we've made it through these 5 years. And whether it was the pandemic or snow or school closings, we have never missed a year. So I want to give a big shout out to everyone for that. Also, very importantly, this is 60 years since Dr. King gave his I Have a Dream speech, and it's amazing how time has gone by, and couldn't think of a better way to kick off this weekend with our 5th annual event and these wonderful students. So want to kind of make that shout out for that as we get ready for another terrific competition. And thank you all for what you have done to make this another reality for us. This is something that we think is really important for us in our community, as a law firm with our community, to connect us and remind us of the teachings of Dr. King and to bring it to life through the voices of these incredible kids. You have accomplished so much just to be here today, and I want to recognize our students already for what a great job you've done and look forward to your speeches. And this could not happen without the teachers and the CPS school administrators that all of you have worked so hard to make this happen. You already have full schedules, and the way you have embraced this project is really incredible, and we couldn't be more thankful for that. In addition to the great support we've had with the Chicago Public Schools, we are proud that as a law firm we have a partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, and this year we have 2 finalists from the Boys and Girls Club, so we are excited to have them be part of this as well. And of course, to all the parents and relatives and guardians, all the efforts you've put into helping your children and these students be prepared. I know how hard you have worked to get here. I have 5 kids of my own, and I know how hard it is to get you to do this on top of your other schoolwork, and we've also heard how great you are doing in your classes, so keep up that great work and know how proud we all are of what you are doing. We also have this year, for the first time, 2 of our past winners have joined us. And I want to recognize a couple of our past winners. We have last year's winner, Harper Williams, is here with us. So shout out to Harper. And the year before, in 2021, Peyton Sawyer was our winner. I want to congratulate her. Thank you. And this is, again, like I said, a wonderful way through your voices, Peyton and Harper and these finalists today, of really honoring Dr. King's legacy and paying tribute to his great legacy. And so with that, we'll get started here shortly. And I do want to introduce a few other folks with respect to our judges that we have here today. As we put together our judges panel today, we really put together, I think, one of the very finest we've ever had. And can't thank you all enough for being here. So with that, I want to introduce the Honorable Rebecca Pallmeyer. Judge Pallmeyer is the Chief Judge of the United States District Court here in Illinois. She was appointed by President Clinton. And what's really incredible is she became the first female Chief Judge of the Northern District in its 200-year history. So we have a real milestone again with Chief Judge Pallmeyer. And that's really incredible, and thank you, Judge, for always being with us. She's been here every year of our competition and really set the tone. And I promise the students they'll get a chance to meet with all of you judges afterwards so they can see exactly who you all are. I want to thank Z. Scott, the president of Chicago State University. Z has had a distinguished career even before becoming president of Chicago State. She was a former U.S. attorney here in the Northern District. She handled some very big cases in that office. also was the Inspector General for the agencies of the governor. She's taught at some of our top law schools here in Chicago and serves on a number of boards, including the Ann and Robert Lurie board. So thank you, Z, for being with us here today. We also have Rachel Olchaka. Rachel is joining us from Fetch Rewards. Rachel has served both as the Chief Legal Officer for Fetch and now currently serves as the Chief People Officer, where she has responsibility for their employees, their HR, their diversity, equity and inclusion, wellness, a whole bunch of things. She has a lot of responsibilities there, and we couldn't be more happy to have Rachel here with us from Fetch. So thank you for that. We also have Lisa Gock. Lisa came in from California yesterday. Thank you again. We have had people coming in here far and wide to be here, and so thank you, Lisa, for that. Lisa is the General Counsel for Cetera Financial, and she leads their whole legal department there in assisting their senior executives and board on all of their legal and regulatory matters. She also worked in the Justice Department, had time in the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, and also worked as an assistant United States attorney. So another one of our very distinguished judges, and thank you for being here, Lisa. Maybe not as far away, but maybe colder, is Minnesota, where Kyle Thomas came in from yesterday. So Kyle is one of the attorneys at Optum Litigation, part of the United Healthcare enterprise. And Kyle has judged these competitions before with us, but he's done it remotely by video, and this is his first time here in person. So thank you, Kyle, for your service over the years, and can't thank you enough for being here in person with us. And Kyle also, in addition to previously working at Optum, previously worked at the Travelers Company, St. Paul Travelers Company, Home Services, and also serves on the board of directors of People Incorporated, addressing mental health services in the community. So thank you, Kyle. We also have Raymond Rushing, who is corporate counsel and global litigation at Cummins, another one of the very, very large companies here in the Midwest. And Ray helps manage global litigation matters, all sorts of international contracts, and does a lot of important legal work for the company. He's also served as an adjunct professor at one of our local schools here at Illinois Chicago, and serves as a board member both with Windy City Hockey Foundation and with Build, where he works with young students and diverse students to participate in hockey, regardless of race and religion, to get them to participate, and also with at-risk youth through the Build Chicago board that he sits on. And we're really thankful to have you here, Raymond. So thank you. And our newest judge is Joanne Molinaro. Joanne used to be an attorney, a partner here with us here at Foley. And today, she is a national author. She's also a blogger. And she has created her own enterprise, really, as a vegan cook who has created some wonderful cookbooks. And she's been recognized for her New York Times best-selling book. She also is very big on TikTok, so you students might see her on there. And we will have an opportunity for you to meet with Joanne afterwards. She has been on CBS Saturday Morning. She's been on ABC Live with Kelly and Ryan. She's really developed a great following, and thank you, Joanne, for being here with us today. And so with that, each year we've grown and had more and more of our judges participate with us so that we could really give these students a sense of what a competition of this stature really deserves. And also, just as a reminder for you all, with respect to these students, they have all worked and researched to do these speeches. These are not them reciting a speech. This is them coming up with their own individual thoughts that they've put together to show us what their impression is of Dr. King's teachings. And this year, in honor of our 60th anniversary of Dr. King, the theme they'll be speaking about is what would Dr. King think of how we've progressed since those 60 years after his I Have a Dream speech.
It is an honor and privilege to be here to welcome you to the 5th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King MLK Oratory Competition. That deserves a round of applause right there. I want to thank the families and the teachers and the administrators who helped to get our students here today. But most importantly, I want to thank and congratulate our finalists. No matter what place you come in today, you're all already winners. Let's give them a round of applause. You're not winners because of the place you come in. You're not winners even because you're finalists. You are winners because you are lifting up your voices to change the world. And that's what is important today. You know, as I thought about today, I thought about the 60th anniversary of Dr. King's deliverance of the I Have a Dream speech, but I came back to another moment. 4 months after that moment, Dr. King eulogized 4 young girls who were killed at the bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. At that time, Dr. King admonished the people who were there in that audience that even though those 4 young girls were not there physically, their voices were there because they had something to say. They had something to say to the politicians. They had something to say to the business leaders. They had something to say to the religious leaders. Well, I'm here to tell you that Xavier, Dalius, Josiah, Samira, Kashmir, Tamia, Joy, Trinity, Selena, Samaya, each of you have something to say. You have something to say to all of us. You have a challenge to offer us. And I'm so proud to congratulate and welcome you here today. I'm so proud of the change that you will provide to this world because you are amazing in your own rights now. And I know it's tough to get up here in front on this stage. I know in 4th or 5th grade I wasn't able to do it. But you are out here making a difference. So thank you for lifting up your voices. Thank you for being the amazing young people that you are, the examples that you are for each and every one of us.
As we all know, this event is about remembering Dr. King. We recognize and honor him, his actions, his words, the changes for the good in our country that he brought about, and his continued importance today. This event truly is about commemorating Dr. King's legacy. But the other important element is the students. This competition aims to provide them with an opportunity to display their amazing talents, which they do in a way that's always energetic, moving, inspiring, and for which they receive well-deserved recognition. It's so great to see the former winners. I remember them well. They're taller than me now. But it's so good to see that they are still thriving. The 4th and 5th grade students this year who are participating, as you know, had to do a little studying to come up with their own words and their own speeches. And this is very important because history is important. And I don't think in this day and age we spend enough time really understanding and remembering our history and using that to move us forward. So again, that's why we're here today. Shall we hear the students now? Are we ready? Are we ready?
Greetings. My name is Tamia Bennett. I am a 4th grade student at Joseph Warren Elementary School. It is a pleasure to be here sharing my thoughts regarding how Dr. King will reflect on the 60 years since his I Have a Dream speech. This noble speech was given before I was born, yet the words of Dr. King continue to reign with importance. A key quote was, "I have a dream that my 4 children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." This memorable quote was said by the very well-known civil rights activist Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. continues to resound in our hearts. Speaking of race, we still live in a world where we are struggling to be seen for who we are and not get judged by our appearances. Dr. King was born on January 15, 1929. He passed away on April 4, 1968 at the age of 39. Dr. King dedicated his life to marching for equal rights. Today, people are still fighting for equal rights. People have migrated to America from other countries due to the mistreatment they have received in our own countries. In Dr. King's speech, he stated that he had a dream that black people would get treated the same as white people. We call this equality. I know many people believe that his dream was just about equal rights, but he also didn't like violence. Violence is something that is very high in the brown and black communities. Dr. King would be disappointed with the lack of respect from our own people. Violence is something that my family has dealt with personally. My mom was an innocent victim of a violent crime. She was shot by a young man of color. Dr. King gave his speech about being nonviolent, yet to know my mom had to learn to walk again because of someone else's negligence was hard for me to understand. Dr. King gave his speech about being nonviolent. He said that nonviolence is the most potent weapon available to oppressed people in their struggle for freedom and human dignity. Hearing what I just shared about my mom goes against Dr. King's speech. I often ask questions about why we can't go certain places or do certain things, and my answer often ends with, "No, baby, it's not safe to go there." After hearing her response, I feel sad. I feel sad because as a kid, I should have the freedom to go wherever I want and feel safe when I am there. It's my reality. It also goes against the dream that Dr. King has imagined for us. In conclusion, I believe that Dr. King will still have the dream of seeing us doing better as a human race, continuing to strive for the unity and equality in the peaceful world that Dr. King spoke about on August 28, 1963. Thank you.
My name is Selena Walford, and this is my speech on how Dr. King would reflect on the 60 years since his I Have a Dream speech. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech spoke about freedom and equality for African Americans. He is known for his contribution to the American Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s. During the March on Washington on August 28, 1963, Dr. King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. Based on what is going on today in America, his dream has not yet been realized. Studies show that African American citizens of our great nation are being shot and killed at alarming rates. Dr. King's dream did not speak of this nonsense. Dr. King's dream spoke of positivity for all, including people of color. Dr. King played an important role in our history. He was a leader of the American Civil Rights Movement, and as head of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, he organized a number of peaceful protests to promote the idea of peace and equality. Some of his accomplishments as a great leader include being the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. He donated the Nobel Prize money of $54,123 to the furtherance of the Civil Rights Movement. This was an amazing accomplishment, not only for Dr. King, but for people of color. One of Dr. King's most significant protests was the March to Selma in 1965, as it was a turning point in the Civil Rights Movement, leading to significant legislative change and serving as a symbol of the struggle for racial equality. Dr. King's dream of peace and equality, unfortunately, was not one that was shared by all. On April 4th, 1968, James Earl Ray shot and killed Dr. King on the balcony of his hotel room. I feel that if Dr. King were looking down on America, he would be really disappointed in our great nation. While he might be happy to see that many laws have been passed to make sure people are treated equally no matter where they come from or what they look like, there is still much work that needs to be done. He would appreciate that people of different races work together, go to school together, and even become friends. Part of Dr. King's dream was for people to come together, and we have made progress in doing that. However, there are still places where people are not treated fairly, and we still need to fight for justice and equality. Dr. King would encourage us to continue his work to make the world an even better place. Discrimination, unfortunately, is as common today as it was when Dr. King was alive. The number of African Americans who are being shot and killed at the hands of those sworn to protect and serve is astounding. The number of hate crimes being committed is on the rise. I feel that Dr. King would be sad to see that these things are still happening in our country. He would remind us that even as fifth graders, we have the power to make a difference. We can be kind to each other, stand up against unfairness, and work together to create a world where everyone is treated with love and respect. I feel if Dr. King were alive today, he would see the progress we've made, but he would also remind us that there's much more to do. Let's keep his dream alive by working together, being kind, and fighting for equality. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I shared my dream 60 years ago in front of 250,000 people at the Lincoln Memorial. When I said I have a dream, I include equality. I wanted African Americans to earn the same amount of money as white people. I wanted African Americans to be treated the same way as white people. I wanted African Americans to have exact rights as white people. I wanted the Constitution to protect African Americans as well. I wanted to stop segregation. I wanted to end racism. I wanted white people to stop being racist when they saw my people. I wanted African Americans to go to the same schools as white people to receive equal knowledge. We achieved most of what my dream said to me. Segregation is the thing of the past. Since my dream, my people have gone on to become lawyers, state representatives, nurses, and detectives on the police force. We have the right to vote now. In 2009, we elected our first African American president. We definitely come a long way. When I described my dream 60 years ago, some of you listened. On the other hand, some of you did not. We have lost sight of the vision, and we have lost unity as people. We have African Americans killing their own. We have African Americans stealing from other African Americans. We have lost the love and respect from one and another. Racism still exists today. It is shown by the killing and mistreatment of African Americans by other races. Also, by not seeing us as equals simply because of the color of our skin. This needs to stop. We need to fix this. This has to end right now. We can still follow the dream I made 60 years ago. We can change this by reuniting as people and as a country. As for African Americans, we are going to return to our roots. We are going to check on the elderly, learn from them, and show them respect and care. We are going to help the homeless with money, hygiene products, food, and clothes. This is how we return to a loving and peaceful community. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Trinity K. Owens and I am a 4th grader at Dixon Elementary. Today, I will be talking about how Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will reflect on 60 years of saying his I Have a Dream speech. I think that Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. will be upset because our brothers and sisters are still getting mistreated. Dr. King grew up during a time of social, economical injustices for the African American community. But he didn't let that stop him from fighting. Dr. King didn't fight with his hands, but he fought with his voice. Dr. King has done a lot for African Americans. He has risked his life just so we got equality. Now let's go back to the case of George Floyd. Mr. Floyd was murdered by Derek Chauvin on May 25th, 2020. With George getting murdered, a protest started. It lasted for 2 years, 10 months, and 4 weeks. Now, according to the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation, the highest rate occurred for Black Americans who were estimated to be 3.5 times more likely to experience fatal police violence than white Americans. If Dr. King was here, I don't think he would approve with that, because blacks were getting killed more than whites. Dr. King said his I Have a Dream speech so that all races got equality. But unfortunately, not all whites, like what Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said. So James Earl Ray murdered Dr. King on April 4th, 1968 at Dr. King's hotel room. Dr. King wanted all people to have equality. He wanted all people to have justice, but he was mostly talking about blacks. Many things have changed in the world, like we can drink from the same water fountains now, use the same bathrooms, and attend the same schools. So I'm going to be honest. Dr. King might see a little change, but we still have a lot to improve. And if we keep believing, we can do it. We can make a change. So just remember,
If we give up, we will never have equality. We will never have peace. But if we keep believing and if we keep trying, then maybe we can make a change.
Hi, my name is Samira, and I'm 9. I'm a 4th grader at Willacatha Elementary and a club member at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boys and Girls Club. To answer the question, how would Dr. King reflect on the 60 years since his I Have a Dream speech? I think Dr. King will say that we are free, we don't have to sit in the back of the bus, or be separated no more. I can go to the same school as white kids, but there's still work that needs to be done. The world looks a lot better now than it did 60 years ago, but we still face similar problems. There is still a lack of kindness in the world today. Part of Martin Luther King's dream was for people of the world to treat each other like brothers and sisters. Instead, people treat each other like enemies. They speak meanly and put each other down. When this happens, the world continues to hold hate. We need to treat others the way they deserve to be treated. In honor of Dr. King living of peace and love. Sometimes I watch the news at home and see people fighting. In my city, guns are a huge problem. In my city, violence is a crisis. Dr. King did not believe in solving problems with our fists, and I agree. How do we stop the hate and spread the love? We can do this by remembering to do the right thing and practice being good people. My mother always reminds me that it is important to be a leader, not a follower. I might be 9, but I'm a confident leader, just like Dr. King. I'm a beautiful example of kindness and intelligence. I know the world would be a better place if people show a good character and stop judging each other. I encourage the world to do the work of showing good character and follow Dr. King's vision of peace and love.
Hello, my name is Josiah Wheeler, and I go to Mildred Lavazo Elementary School. Hello, my fellow creatives. Have you ever wondered how Dr. King will reflect on this world today? We are all different, but Black people still get treated inappropriately. It shouldn't matter if we are different. We are all God's people. The killings need to stop. The inequalities need to stop. Dr. King was a 34-year-old Black man fighting for equal rights. I'm so happy to join all of us together today because together we're strong. Dr. King said, I want to thank God for being here. Both he and God are the reasons we have hope. Our race must continue to evolve. Our family and friends have seen so much and they don't want us to lose. Let's continue to break the cycle and fight against police brutality. Every day, Dr. King believed that someday racism will go away and we will see by their changed actions. Dr. King would be happy to see what we have accomplished, including video games and online banking. We are capable of so much more. And just before Dr. King died, he said, like anybody, I would love to live a long life. Then on April 4th, 1968, he was shot and killed because of hatred. Dr. King said, love is the only capable force of changing an enemy to a friend. Dr. King wants us to love and give love to others. Most importantly, he wanted us to be free. Dr. King will be proud that everything he worked so hard for, believed and dreamed of, has finally come true. Even though everything isn't perfect, we can all say his dream is in motion. In 1963, Dr. King led the March on Washington, where he gave his famous I Have a Dream speech. Thousands of Black people came from all over the U.S. to be a part of the Million Man March and protest for equal rights, and lots of those rights we have today. Dr. King will reflect on today and smile because we are free at last, we are free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you.
Greetings. My name is Samaya Tatum. I attend Wendell Smith Elementary School as a 5th grade scholar. Yes, it has been 60 years. Has been 60 years since the Dr. King I Have a Dream speech. A lot has happened over the course of 60 years. Blacks and whites are currently attending elementary, high school, and college classes together. You will see faces and voices gathering together to bring about change in our schools, communities, neighborhoods, and even in our government. You will see whites supporting and lending a hand by providing programs and services in neighborhoods that will benefit from them. You will see little black boys and girls and little white boys and girls walking hand in hand to support their community. You will see little black boys and girls and little white boys and girls being integrated with sports. We are not just competing against our own skin color, but we are competing against each other for equality. There is freedom. We are no longer owned by slave owners. We are able to drink from the same water fountain as our white brothers and sisters. We are free because all nationalities hold public office. Yes, black people are free. We are free because we make our own choices. We are climbing over some mountains because we are free. We are climbing over some hills because we are free. We are able to hold hands with who many feel comfortable with our skin color. We are able to go to public bathrooms, sit on a plane, and travel by bus with our white brothers and sisters. He'll look back at today and say, I have made a difference. There are some who believe. There are some who made a change. There are some who changed their beliefs. He will also pose some questions. What can we do about the others? How can they make a change? How can they change their beliefs? He will still want his dream to be for all of mankind to be equal. A lot has occurred over the course of 60 years. He'll be enthused to see the equal opportunities of blacks as lawyers, doctors, supervisors, nurses, and even those who are leading, making changes in our government today. He will be enthused to see all of the changes that have occurred in our schools, communities, neighborhoods, and our everyday lives. But we still have a long way to go because people's personalities must change, and they can't continue to hold on to the past. They can't continue to hold on to their popular beliefs from a long time ago. We must believe and depend on one another. Dr. King's face will display satisfaction to see the integration and our segregation of boys and girls. However, I must say, we still have a hill to climb and a mountain to move. In so many instances, blacks are still being judged by their skin color and not for who they are as a person. There are some blacks and whites coming together to build a better society. There are some blacks and whites coming together to make sure we have equal opportunities. And Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, he says he wants blacks to have freedom. He also says he also desires blacks to not be judged by their skin color, but by their characteristics. There are some blacks and whites coming together to build a better society. There are some blacks and whites coming together to make sure we have equal opportunities. He also says he wants blacks and whites to come together as friends and to not be against one another. In conclusion, we have progressed graciously to change. Therefore, the dream still moves forward because great change continues to exist. Thank you very much. My name is Samaya Tatum.
Hello, my name is Delius Jacobs, and today I will be saying my speech. The dream I once had, August 28th, 1963. 60 years ago, I stood at the Lincoln Memorial in front of 200,000 people speaking about a dream I once had. Well, today, I stand here before you with a message of hope. My now iconic speech has become a beacon of light and courage in the fight for equality and justice. In the 60 years since my inspiring words have touched the millions, we have made significant strides towards achieving the dream I once had. We have seen the dismantling of legal segregation and the passing of groundbreaking civil rights legislation since that dream I once had. We have witnessed the election of the first African-American president, a monumental step forward in the pursuit for equality since that dream I once had. When I stood on those steps of the Lincoln Memorial in 1963, I spoke of a future where my children would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Today, we can proudly say we have made significant strides towards that vision. We have witnessed the breaking down of barriers and the rise of movements that fight for equality regardless of race, gender, or socioeconomic status since that dream I once had. I would still like to remind you guys all listening that progress is a continuous journey and that struggle for equality and justice never truly ends. We will never stop dreaming, and one day the dream I once had will be the dream you'll continue to have for generations to come behind you. I urge you to confront the growing racial and economic inequalities that perpetrate these disparities. Too many voices are going unheard. Too many young African-American men and women are having their lives taken away before they can even truly experience this beautiful thing we have in front of us called life. From 2015 to 2021, police officers have fatally shot at least 135 unarmed black men and women nationwide. This is unacceptable to the beautiful young men and women who make up this country we live in. You have a pivotal role to play in the shaping of a just more amazing future. I believe in the power of education and starting with the youth to break down barriers while uplifting and rebuilding our communities. I inspire you to use your knowledge and skills to advocate for change, to challenge prejudice, and to speak out against injustice, to continue on that dream I once had.
My name is Cashmere Hardy. I am a 10-year-old from the city of Chicago and a club member at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boys and Girls Club. If Dr. King were here today, I think that he would be happy because there is integration. Dr. King Jr. was that little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. Not only can we join hands, we can hug. I have a friend who is white at school, and it does not matter to us what color we are because we love each other the way we are. I learned about many people that help change the way we think and act towards each other. One person that I admire is Ruby Bridges. She was the first black child to attend an all-white public school. She faced many challenges, but she never gave up. She is like me because I try my best and I keep going. Sometimes I can see that my community is treated differently than richer, whiter communities. Opportunities are given to those who are privileged, and kids like me are usually left out. I feel like all kids should be treated equally, no matter what color they are or where they came from. If I could, I would inspire young kids in the next generation to find joy in everything they do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joy Lee. I'm a 5th grader from this city, Chicago. Today, I'm here to talk about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an activist that changed the world with kindness. Did you know? It's been 60 whole years since he shared his I Have a Dream speech. I know you're wondering, why am I talking about something that is 60 years old? Well, the truth is, his I Have a Dream speech is still inspiring us today. Dr. King dreamt of a world where people will be respected no matter what color they are. That's a pretty awesome dream, right? I stand here today as a kid in 2024, living in a world that's different from 1963, but also not so different from 1963. I wonder, how would Dr. King reflect on the 60 years since his I Have a Dream speech? I know he will be proud of the technological advancements and how we are connected by the World Wide Web. However, we still struggle with racial injustice, gender inequality, war, hate, and mass crime. He will remind us that we shall overcome. His dream is still a beacon, 60 years later, guiding us in the right direction. It teaches us to not judge others by race. It teaches us, regardless of police brutality, racist people, and current unfairness that we may face, we must march ahead. It teaches us to not turn back. It teaches us that only light can drive out darkness. Our light can drive out darkness. Your light can drive out darkness. My light can drive out darkness. Because of Dr. King, I know I can be anything I want to be. His dream is no longer just a dream, but my reality. I live in a time where Black men and women can be leaders of the United States of America. I wonder, what would Dr. King think of that? He wanted everyone to have a fair chance. This is how we can do our part. Let's stand up for what's right. Let's make sure everyone is included and treated fairly. As we celebrate 60 years of the I Have a Dream speech, let's promise to be better dreamers ourselves. Let's make our schools, our communities, our country, and our world a better place. Thank you for listening, everyone. Remember to dream big and spread joy, just like my name, Joy Lee.
Once again, let's give them all another round of applause. You all are true leaders in your community, and I can't wait to see what you're going to be when you grow up. So, all right, but I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, the third place winner is Joy Lee from CICS Prairie School. And the second place winner is Xavier Jackson from Robert A. Black Elementary. And the first place winner, Trinity Owens from Arthur L. Dixon Elementary. Those are tears of joy.
This couldn't have been a more wonderful day. We've done this now for 5 years, and I have to say this is our very best that we've ever seen. So thank you all for being a part of this. You know, you students were incredible, and 60 years have passed since Dr. King's incredible speech. And I know one thing for sure is he would be incredibly proud of the way you have continued to honor his legacy. Today, not only did your voices speak loud, I think you touched all of us emotionally, intellectually, you made us think. And one thing for sure is you left us with a tremendous amount of hope and inspiration. I can't think of a better way to kick off this holiday weekend in honor of Dr. King than to hear your voices like you did today. So thank you for that. And then just finally here, I did want to give a special thanks again to all the parents, the guardians, the teachers, the school administrators. Unbelievable what you've done. And then for us here at our firm, I want to thank Chris Culver, my office administrator, and Cassie Ringer, our great team. Every year this has gotten bigger and bigger, and you can see all the effort and time that goes into this. We were worried last night about the weather. Nothing has ever stopped us for these events, and we couldn't have done it without the great work of your team. So thank you all for that, and thank you to the judges. I know this was one of the toughest ones ever to judge, and so we couldn't be more pleased with the great work that every one of those students did. So thank you, everyone, again. When you host an event like this, not only is it an opportunity for us to connect with the community, but as we all saw here, it brings our own firm together closer. It brings all of our attorneys and business professionals that commit their time on the side to make this happen, and it really is something that we benefit from as much as these kids, and it's a great part of our culture at Foley, and we couldn't be more pleased with how well it's been done over the past 5 years.
It took a tremendous amount of courage for the young people to be on that stage, to work, to do these incredibly authentic speeches, and to make sure that we have the opportunity to hear directly from them. I'm just so proud. Our future is extremely bright right now.
I had a feeling that I was gonna win. I had a good chance of winning because one, every single night and day, Dad, can we play? No, I want to hear that speech. Like, it feels so good to win sometimes. And I know you're not always gonna win, but you're still a winner. And even the other kids who made it to the finals, they're still winners because it took a lot just to make it here.